The gaming community has found some very interesting ways to protest against EA's irredeemable greed over the past few weeks. While the game's loot boxes were a big topic of contention, the spark that really lit the fire was when EA posted a comment on Reddit that reeked of so much bullshit that it became the most downvoted in the website's history. I mean, it wasn't even close by how much they beat the old record, and unbeknownst to many, EA also managed to snatch 2nd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 8th, 9th, and 10th most downvoted comments as well, most of them likely stemming from the pathetic Ask Me Anything session that the Battlefront 2 team hosted, providing no real substantial answers throughout the whole thing. Since then, it's just been one PR disaster after another for EA, eventually culminating in various countries like Belgium, Netherlands, Australia, France, and the US beginning investigations on predatory gaming practices like loot boxes, and potential legislation that could be imposed to regulate them. Suffice to say that November 2017 hasn't been EA's month, and they deserve everything that's coming to them. Now, another way that players have taken to protesting against EA and Battlefront 2 is through Metacritic. If you go to the website right now and check out Star Wars Battlefront 2's PS4 page, you can see that the game's Metascore has not only fallen into the 60s after reviews from 52 critics, the user score is currently sitting at a measly 0.9 out of 10. Just to highlight how low this score is currently, on both PS4 and Xbox One, Battlefront 2 is the second lowest user-rated game of all time, second only to Ghostbusters. As if that wasn't enough, on PC, a platform that's been with us for decades, Battlefront 2 is actually the lowest user-rated game of all time. That's right, on Metacritic, Battlefront 2 is gamers' most hated game on PC ever. For a AAA game to stoop so low in the ranks is actually quite unprecedented, even by EA standards. The Battlefront 2 fiasco almost makes Call of Duty Infinite Warfare look beloved by comparison. And you may recall that was a game whose trailer became the second most disliked video in YouTube history, second only to Justin Bieber's music video Baby. And once the game launched, it garnered a Metacritic user score of 3.6 on PS4, 3.4 on Xbox One, and 3.2 on PC. Now, I'm not trying to say that user scores are an accurate representation of a game's quality or anything like that. Even with all of its shady practices and flaws, objectively speaking, I wouldn't say Battlefront 2 is actually a 0.9 out of 10 game. From what I've played and from what most people have said, there's actually a good to great game buried underneath the rubble that is the Abhorrent progression system and the predatory loot boxes that it revolves around, so there is some merit in that. But user scores have never been about being accurate or fair even. They've always been driven by the gaming community's overall sentiment. A Metacritic user score this low is worth about as much as Call of Duty Infinite Warfare's trailer becoming the second most disliked video on YouTube, or EA's infamous sense of pride and accomplishment response becoming the most downvoted Reddit comment ever. It's more about sending a message to the entities behind the games, the ones pulling the strings and implementing predatory and exploitative practices that mar what could have otherwise been a great experience. Infinite Warfare's user score, for example, is less representative of the game's overall quality and more representative of gamers' protest against how little the series has evolved throughout the years, or how it's evolved in the wrong direction, or the implementation of shady microtransactions and DLC practices, or the shitty way they handled Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. Similarly, this 0.9 out of 10 score for Battlefront 2 and its record for worst user-rated AAA game ever and the second worst user-rated game of this generation represents gamers' disdain over how far EA was willing to push the envelope of predatory and exploitative microtransactions and loot boxes to satiate their rampant greed. It's a review of EA and their scummy antics rather than a review of the game, and in that regard, yeah, that 0.9 score from almost 6,300 reviews looks about right. The score is a near universal representation of gamer sentiments against EA, one that became so widespread and was expressed so loudly that it even caught the attention of mainstream media outlets and government officials. So yeah, EA really fucked up this time, but hey, you reap what you sow, and EA has definitely earned this one. And while the battle against loot boxes is far from over, we can wallow in the fact that the conversation on the issue of glorified in-game gambling has taken a huge leap forward, and we can laugh at EA for becoming the butt of the loot box joke after their greed got the best of them and fucked them and other publishers with similar intentions oh so royally. With that, I would like to end this news update and discussion video. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you liked this video, and if you enjoy my content, consider supporting me on Patreon. All contributions will go towards helping this channel stay 100% independent and self-sustained. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.